I read this book. I found a lot of really good information in here that I actually think is applicable to everyday life for every single human being on this planet. Sadly, however, I don't know that this message is going to reach as many people as it should. This book is called Smart Brevity, so I'm going to try to make this video as brief as possible. That will be a bit of a conundrum because I am a rambler, as those of you who are familiar with me know. But I learned a lot from this book. I learned about how to make our messages more potent by actually taking away so many of the extra words and feelings and things that we put into our speech. This isn't about being robotic and cold. This is about being as brief as possible to make as potent a message as possible while still being humanistic and warm. That is something that I've struggled with for a lot because I'm very humanistic and warm, but I also tend to ramble. Let me tell you guys, I have been implementing some of the things that I've learned from this book. So much of it does come down to say less, do more. Judge people by their actions and less by their words. You're being yourself, you're enjoying your life, you're enjoying your interactions with others, but you're not leaning on extra words and extra verbiage in order to make connections. Because at the end of the day, most of connection are things that we can't hear, things that we can't necessarily put our finger on. They're not the words that we're saying to each other, it's how we feel in each other's presence. After all, the saying goes, people aren't going to remember what you said to them, but they will remember how you made them feel. So how you make people feel is so much more important than the words that you're using to say to them. When I uploaded my first YouTube video, it was a review of The Last Jedi, and I was rambling for, I don't even know, 38 minutes, something crazy like that. And I didn't know how to edit at all yet. So it was just a straight up video of me rambling on and on, making circular points and circular arguments that weren't really going anywhere. Some of you guys actually enjoyed it, so thank you so much to those of you who are still here. But oh my gosh, I realized upon starting a YouTube channel, I'm a rambler. I'm more on the introverted side. I'm very picky with the people I choose to spend my time with outside of work, and I like my alone time. So when I get around people, sometimes I've been cooped up for a while. I'm a little pent up. I want to share how I feel. I want to express things. I want to exchange ideas with people. With that comes some inevitable wordiness. But on my YouTube journey, I've learned people tune out really quickly. I'm sorry, Nova's just going crazy right now, rubbing herself on everything because apparently she loves it when I record YouTube videos. She does this every single time. Right, Nova? Yeah? Yes, good girl. Oh, you're so sweet. You little... I need to interrupt my own brevity to give Nova some love because this little thing says 0 words, but she feels so much love and she makes me feel so loved. So if that doesn't tell you the juice of today's message, I don't know what does. Sometimes the less I say, the more potent the message is. And I think this is something that we can bring with us through all facets of life, whether that be in work, school, personal relationships, texting, emails, everything. Strip away everything from your message. What do you really want to say? What do you want to tell this person or these people that you're talking to? Take away all the extra verbiage. What is the simplest way to say it? They have some ways of adding punchier words that have more juice and presence to them, which is really cool. But then they don't want you to strip away the warmth or the humanity from what you're saying. So that's a really important thing here. We're not walking around sounding like cold robots. Let's get into the book a little bit because I read this whole thing and I don't know if you guys can see this, but I added highlighter, I underlined, I really went through this book and tried to pick out the most important parts for you guys because this was a message I wanted to share. And as a little aside, to get better at speaking for this YouTube channel, because I really do want to do it as much as I can. I do want to make something of this YouTube channel as much as I can. It's just hard with the limited time and energy that I have, but I decided to do Toastmasters for the first time and I want to keep going with it. I just haven't had the time. But during my first Toastmasters course or session that I had, I was nervous, but I had actually just finished this book. And I don't know if any of you guys are familiar with Toastmasters, but I actually had the second least amount of filler words used. And the other woman that used the least amount of filler words, she actually used 0 filler words, which is really impressive. But she'd been doing Toastmasters for something like 11 years. And I also won the best speech of the night, or the best off the cuff speech of the night, which I was just mind blown. I was so excited about that because I think there were like 15 people in that session. So, and they had all been doing Toastmasters. I was the newbie. I had never done it before. So I was super excited about that. And I really think I owe it to what I learned, not only from this book, but as I was saying, my own personal research on the topic of brevity. How to be shorter, more concise, more potent. I really feel the older I get, the more limited my time is and the more limited my energy is. I'm very careful with how I spend my time and my energy, and I really try to respect my own time and energy. And with that, as a conscientious person, I'm also trying to respect other people's time and energy. And I notice when people are very wordy, whether that be in person, in text, in emails, messages, it feels disrespectful towards our time and our energy, even if they have no concept of that. Most of the time, these people are loving, warm, lovely people, and they don't have any concept of that. But I think they feel that their message is so important, it needs to be wrapped up in a big, beautiful bow. So let me give as many words and as much time to it as possible. But that actually takes away from the meaning and the specialness of the message when it's so wordy and it's so flowery. And there are times and places for flowery language and flowery speech. They touch on that in the book. Things like Shakespeare and Hemingway and authors. If you're an author, that your prose is a sense of flowery text and winding rivers of words, that's one thing. But if you're talking like that to your mom on the phone, or your colleague in a work meeting, or a person that you're trying to court over a dating app or something, it can be really overwhelming. I think people could end up wanting to put up boundaries because it can be a little bit off-putting. Is every time I hear from this person it going to be a spiel, a ramble? And I'm sure, I mean, hopefully you guys don't feel that way about me, but I wouldn't blame you if you did, because I tend to ramble, as you can tell from this video. Anyway, without further ado, I'm going to actually get into the book because I do think this is a really important message. It improves my communication so much. This is not a pitch towards this book because I actually don't recommend this book. I actually found the book to be very dry and redundant in a lot of ways, and that's why I went to such lengths to highlight and circle and underline the things that I thought were the most potent, because I wanted to put it in as tiny and concise and strong a package as possible for you guys, because I think these messages are so important that the book is actually a disservice to the messages themselves. That being said, let's start. First thing I highlighted: never in the history of humanity have we vomited more words in more places with more velocity. This new and exhausting phenomenon has jammed our inboxes, paralyzed workplaces, clogged our minds, and inspired us to create smart brevity as the authors. That's one thing they do, is they keep talking about smart brevity throughout the book, and it actually takes up so much time and space that it became kind of annoying and redundant to me as a reader. Be honest, you're a prisoner of words, prisoner to words, writing them, reading them, listening to them. Our minds are frazzled by all of this. We feel and see it daily. We're more scattered, impatient, and inundated. Yes. We're wallowing in noise and nonsense most of our waking hours. This growing fog of words has two root causes: technology and our stubborn bad habits. So yes, one is technology. We live in a world where we're seeing words every single day. Twitter, comment sections on YouTube, texting more than actual phone calls and face-to-face interactions. We're living in a world where we're kind of beholden to interfacing with people via technology more so than in person sometimes. And with that is a requisite for using more words, texting more, emailing more, having more words on paper that we have to read. And sometimes seeing that all the time, for me personally, it feels exhausting, having to read other people's words all the time. And even having a YouTube channel, sometimes, I think I've said this before, my favorite comments are like quick, funny, witty comments. I love those. They make me laugh or they make me think. But sometimes when I see a really long paragraph, I freeze in my steps. Sometimes I can't even think about getting back to them because it's just, they're saying so much, and heaven forbid there's no paragraph breaks or punctuation, and it's almost a complete assault of my ocular abilities. I don't want to be the punctuation police here, but there is something to be said about being able to convey your message quickly, efficiently, still with warmth and humanity, or with a sense of humor. Oh my gosh, it's like catnip for me as someone that has to read through my YouTube comments. I don't want to say has to. I get to read through my YouTube comments and I really enjoy it, but those really long ones sometimes do make me feel really inundated. And I think in day-to-day life, we're seeing this more and more, whether you're a content creator or not. I think it's coming up more and more with emails and stuff. And to give credit where credit's due for this book, it talks a lot about workplace emails and constructing better emails. So if you are someone that deals with that a lot in the workplace, this is probably a really good recommendation for you. The internet and smartphones open the floodgates for everyone to say and see everything at scale, for free, instantly, always. We all want equal access to Facebook, Google, Twitter, Snapchat, TikTok, and boy do we use and abuse it. We can share our every thought, post when proud or pissed, Google when confused, watch a video on any topic at any time. New thought. Think about it. We know everyone has less time, more options, endless distractions, yet we keep coughing up the same number of words or more. This isn't new. Mark Twain, writing to a friend in 1871, confessed, "I didn't have time to write you a short letter, so I wrote you a long one." I love this quote so much, and it's so true. I find when I'm really tired or scattered, sometimes I end up rambling more because I'm not actually thinking about my message. I'm not concentrating on the importance of what I want to say. And I'm just rambling and expending my energy and expending the listener's energy. Okay, everyone does this. We try to fake it or show off our smarts by overindulging in words. We see this at work, in personal emails, in the professional media. I wrote in here in texts and comments. Yeah, because I really feel that that's true. I see it in text messages that I have back and forth with people, and I also see it in comments frequently on YouTube. Not just my channel, other people's channels too. I'll see someone writing like a freaking essay on someone's YouTube channel, and I'm like, what are we achieving here? And sometimes if it's very well written, it will have a significant amount of upvotes, but a lot of the times I notice the really long, rambly, not so well written, not so well thought out text will like kind of end up at the bottom of a YouTube feed or a comment section just because nobody wants to be inundated with that many words. But I will say, I uploaded a video and I got a comment on it that at first I was like, oh my gosh, this is so long. But as I read it, I realized it was really well written. It was very well thought out. It was very well punctuated. And the paragraphs were, I'm going to shout out who wrote it actually. It was within cells interlinked. Shout out to you. You wrote, it was an excellent comment. So people that are able to construct things very thoughtfully and mindfully and keep the reader in mind, most importantly, it was so well thought out and it was very emotionally grounded as well. I could really feel what the person was expressing through their use of emotional tonality. So that's cool. That's special. But not everybody has that ability. And I think it's important to be humble and realize that we don't all have the ability to be great communicators. And if we're not great communicators, sometimes the best way to be a better communicator is to take away all the wordiness and just say what we're actually feeling. All of us confront an epic challenge. How do you get anyone to pay attention to anything that matters in this mess? An answer: adapt to how people consume content, not how you wish they did or how they did once upon a time. Then change how you communicate immediately. You can do this quickly by adopting smart brevity. That's what I'm talking about when it feels kind of salesy sometimes and they keep like promoting self-brevity in the book, self-brevity, which just feels kind of, I don't know. I don't like salesy stuff. I don't like being sold things. I don't like being promoted to. So it was kind of annoying. But anyway, it still makes a lot of good points. We're going to read those. You will learn to punch through the noise, be heard on what matters most to you, and win recognition for your most important ideas. And you will learn that this new way of thinking and communicating is liberating, contagious, and teachable. That's what I was hoping when I was reading this, is that I could help, maybe not teach, but at least convey some of these messages to you. I don't know if I've said it enough. I really feel that this is important. Brevity is confidence. Length is fear. Love that. Smart brevity is a system and strategy for thinking more sharply, communicating more crisply, and saving yourself and others time. It guides you into saying a lot more with a lot less, and that is its greatest power. You can't rally people around a strategy or an idea if they don't understand what you're saying or if they zone out. With the old ways of communicating, almost no one is listening. We'll show you how to restructure how you think, then your writing will break through with crystal clarity. I like this. Do a lot more with a lot less, but they took out the a lot. They crossed that out and just wrote do more with less. That's all they needed to say. Oh, you can't see it. Do more with less. You don't need, see how even without it, so simple, just taking out the two a lots, you take out so much and the word, and it's punchier. Do more with less. What sounds better? Do a lot more with a lot less, or do more with less? Do more with less. We're not arguing that there's no time for indulging in words, especially in fiction, poetry, love letters, or casual conversation, especially face-to-face conversation. Face-to-face conversation, I do feel like there's more room for nuance and a little bit of wordiness and rambling a little bit. But if you're emailing with someone or texting with someone, even if it is casual, I think it feels better to keep it brief and keep it fun and keep it light. That's just me though. You should still curl up with The Atlantic, devour a good book, and watch The Godfather. We're not saying to write short for short's sake. You bring more soul and salience into your writing by being direct, helpful, and time-saving. Don't omit important facts or nuance, oversimplify, or dumb down. Short, not shallow. Love that. That's where like the humanistic, warm element comes in, where We're not completely freeze drying everything that we're saying. We're still breathing life into it. We're just not letting it run away from us. If you want vital information to stick, you need to radically rethink and repackage how you deliver it. Start by accepting that most people will scan or skip most of what you communicate and then make every word and sentence count. Share more value in less time. Put your readers first. People are busy and have expectations of the precious time they give you. All they usually want to know is what's new and why it matters. Give them that. Change your methods and style for reaching readers now. Smart brevity will make you more efficient and effective at work. A more forceful communicator. Oh, I need a water break. This will make you more efficient and effective at work, a more forceful communicator, and more useful and memorable on social media. Your voice and words will pop and echo like never before. I hope so. I hope that happens for me. I'm going to keep trying this. It will force you to rethink other time-wasting aspects of your day and put your audience before your own ego and bad habits when sharing thoughts, ideas, updates, and news. The biggest beneficiaries are those you're trying to reach. Most important, you will quickly discover a new self-confidence in your crisp, clear voice and find others listening and remembering and hopefully sharing your most salient points. You will be heard again. Mastering both parts, making something smart and brief, sharpens thinking, saves time, and cuts through the noise. Guys, I 100% believe this. I don't even believe it. I know this to be true because I have been trying to keep my thoughts more brief. And I swear I get less stuck in my own thoughts. I get less stuck in ruts. I just quickly think to myself, what's the point? What am I trying to do? What am I trying to say? Move through it. And it helps so much. I think I finished this book about 2 months ago and I meant to record, I actually did record a video, I just didn't like the way I looked, to be completely honest. So I did not post it, but I was probably a little fresher on these topics then, but I swear, still to this day, 2 months later, I am growing as a person and learning how to convey messages with more clarity and brevity, and it's awesome. Most people think about what they want to say and then pollute and dilute it with mushy words, long caveats, and pointless asides. Brevity is the casualty. People want to know something new, revelatory, exciting, and they want to put it in context and explain why it matters. Then, with a visual or verbal cue, they decide whether to go deeper into the conversation. If this rings true, ask yourself, why do we write letters, papers, emails, memos, or tweets that do the opposite? We're meandering and self-centered, dull and distracting, boring and burdensome. Woo. Something went haywire in our evolutionary journey that turned us all into long-winded blowhards armed with a few fancy words in reserve. When writing, our voices turned stilted, our minds muddied, our authenticity evaporated. Ugh. The cold hard truth? Most people are lousy writers and fuzzy thinkers. Having lived on this earth for 36 years, I 100% think that's true. It's very rare that I feel that I run into people who are truly, clearly present and also very mindful in their language and how they speak and how they convey their messages. And when you meet someone like that, it doesn't matter who they are, doesn't matter how old they are, doesn't matter if they're a sweet old lady, sweet old man, little baby kid. When someone has that clarity of mind and also that potency of being able to speak what they're actually saying with clarity and brevity, superpower. It's a superpower. Those people stand out so much. They are incredible. Think of smart brevity as a straitjacket on your worst instincts or habits in communication. It's a way to clean up and frame your thinking, then deliver it with a punch. With smart brevity, you won't have to start fresh every time you have something to say. Instead, you'll have a replicable structure to make sure you sound like the smartest, most organized person in the room. I love that. Smart brevity's core 4. 1. A muscular tease. You need 6 or fewer strong words to yank someone's attention away from TikTok or Tinder. 2. One strong sentence or lead. Your opening sentence should be the most memorable. Tell me something I don't know, would want to know, should know. Make this sentence as direct, short, and sharp as possible. 3. Context, or why it matters. We almost always need you to explain why your new fact, idea, or thought matters. 4. The choice to learn more or go deeper. Don't force someone to read or hear more than they want. Please don't force people to read or hear more than they want. Some of my most uncomfortable memories that I look back at my life are when I was stuck in a conversation with someone that would not stop talking. No, don't do it. Don't do it. I don't care who you are. I don't care who you are. Don't do it. It is messed up to do that to someone. Don't hijack a conversation and then hold someone hostage because you feel unseen and unheard in your life. That's work you need to do for yourself. I'm sorry, hot take. I know that everybody has their internal pains and struggles. Trust me, I feel you. But please, if you are holding people hostage in conversation, you need to work on that. And I'm saying this as a previous offender because I know I know I've held people in hostage in conversation before. I'm probably doing it to some of you right now, and I'm very sorry. I'm very sorry. But I do think this is important. Anyway, don't force someone to read or hear more than they want. Make it their decision. If they decide yes, what follows should truly be worth their time. These are guardrails, not hard and fast, never break them rules. Your communications will instantly be more memorable and powerful if you use smart brevity, but your aim is to inform, captivate, motivate a particular audience. Just as a human conversation doesn't always follow the same arc, sometimes you might add a sentence of intrigue before your punchline, the why it matters. The gold standard is always what's best for the audience, the structure that is clearest and most efficient for a reader whose attention is being pulled in a million ways. The bottom line? Smart brevity is music theory. It gives you logic and elegance, but that magnificent architecture leaves room for jazz. Oh, I like this. Ask an author of data what's the most interesting thing about it. They know what it is and they'll tell you. If you ask them to write a report about it, they'll either bury it or more likely leave it out. And this is what goes back to fuzzy thinking. We can have a very clear idea of what it is that we want or what it is that we're thinking. But if we're left to our own devices and we don't have something like smart brevity in mind, we're probably going to give a long, flowery ramble and go off on a bunch of different tangents and not actually tell the people what the important thing was in the first place. I can't tell you how many times in my life I've had a point and I've never made it, but I've talked way too long. I'm sure a lot of you can relate to that. Audience first. If you think about serving your audience first, colleagues, students, parishioners, friends, and not your own ego, you will naturally, I sounded like I said eagle. I meant to say ego. If you think about serving your audience first, colleagues, students, parishioners, friends, and not your own ego, you will naturally cut down on waste. This might seem simple, but it's where most people go off the rails. We tend to think too much about what we want to say versus what others need to hear. Start any communication by thinking first of your very specific audience and what they need or want. Picture in your head the person you're trying to reach. This is easy if it's a single individual, but if you're targeting a group, zero in on a specific individual, a name, a face, a job. Always do this before you start communicating. If you try to speak to everyone, usually you reach no one. Singling out the person you want to reach clarifies things big time. Oh, I love that. That's a really good trick. Although when I'm recording for YouTube, I'm inevitably thinking of like my first 60 subscribers that I still remember everyone's name. So I should probably get better at that and narrow it down to like one of you guys. But I think throughout the video of different people that I love. So shout out to you guys. Shout out to you guys who've been here for a long time and are still hanging in there while I explore this YouTube thing because I still have no idea what I'm doing, but I'm having fun. So here's a story in here. There's this pastor who told a story about how his kids wondered, with all the chaos and challenge of life, how a person can choose to do the right thing always. He wanted to shrink this big existential question into something more digestible. He offered to his kids 9 words of wisdom that guided us through our departure and shaped how we live our lives today. All you can do is the next right thing. Think about how simple, direct, and memorable that one line is. He could have prattled on, quoting Luke, waxing poetic in Hebrew, or dropping C.S. Lewis wisdom, and he could have sharpened it even more. Do the next right thing. He nailed the single most important lesson of modern communications. Short, smart, simple, and direct can break through and persist. Okay, this is a quote from William Stunk's Elements of Style. Vigorous writing is concise. A sentence should contain no unnecessary words, a paragraph no unnecessary sentences. For the exact same reason, a drawing should have no unnecessary lines and a machine no unnecessary parts. I love that. Ooh. Elegant weapon for a more civilized age. This is the opposite of TV, where networks often try to reach the broadest possible audience by targeting the least informed viewer. This results in dumbing down content and larding it up with general context. Yes, as a big lover of film and television, this is one of the biggest banes to me is expository dialogue. Yes, everybody needs their entertainment, but I don't need to be watching, pretentious art films all the time. But sometimes when I'm watching a good piece of media, I I don't like being spoken down to. And that's kind of what television does. Anyway, I could talk about that for all. Maybe I'll do a separate video on how most media is dumbed down and it's making us dumber because it's using expository language in its narrative, and it's really freaking frustrating as someone that really wants to watch humanity grow and be challenged by the media. It's very frustrating to see. It happens in the news, of course. It happens in so many forms of media, and it's just really gross once you see through it and it's transparent how corporate and controlling it really is. Anyway, I digress. Tightly tailor your message to your target reader. You will truly achieve smart brevity when you figure out what you want this person to remember specifically and find taut, vivid, memorable ways to express it. You'll discover that the easiest way to get across what you're trying to say is just say it, then stop. The part that trips people up: we hide the good stuff in piles of words. We make people deduce what we're trying to say instead of just blurting it out. Don't be fancy, be effective. Everybody talks too much. That's how I feel. I think everybody talks too much. And the people that don't are the mysterious, interesting people of this world that I want to know more about. Tell me that isn't true. Think about the mysterious people that you know, that move in silence, that don't talk a lot. They're interesting. They're not boring. They're interesting. You know who's boring? People that tell you their entire life story the first time you meet them. That's boring. That's predictable. That's exhausting. You'll be a much better communicator when you learn to sharpen your thoughts and ideas, package them to pop, and stop blowing words in time. We tend to communicate selfishly. When we sit down to write or stand to speak or plug in to record, we think about what we want to say, not what others would and should want to hear. Reverse this thinking. And guys, I promise I will continue to do this because I want to continue to make really good digestible videos for you guys, because these things are helping me in my life and I want to help you guys in your lives and have fun while doing it. I really do want to have fun. And that's, as an aside, I wanted to make, for a long time, I think I was trying to make more powerful YouTube videos where I was sharing more complex philosophical topics, and I was feeling very serious. I felt like I needed to be serious to be taken seriously, and I realized that's not really who I am. I'm actually just a goofball who wants to have fun and connect with people, but in a fun, light, like levity based way, and I don't want to like be doom and gloom by any stretch. I've had enough doom and gloom in my life and I don't want it anymore. I want to live a happy, bright, beautiful life, and I want to encourage others to do the same, because life is inevitably hard for every single person. I've never met a single person that isn't struggling. So let's try to at least have our escapes where we can, where it's fun and it's light and there's still meaning and there's still potency, but it's not always just like, we're not always leading with the darkest parts of our day or year or life. Circled this part, cowards hide in closets. I'm going to be honest, I don't really remember what that meant, and I don't really care to read the whole thing, but it sounds great. Just say what you mean, sincerely and short. We hide our insecurity in additional words. Your message is lost, your sincerity in question. Your competency gives me pause because you're all over the place. Don't waste time couching it, framing it, conceptualizing it, rather than just saying what you mean. People want direct, clear, honest communication. If you try to spin or bullshit me, pardon my French, I'm out. Ooh, okay, this is cool. So someone in this says, a silver lining of COVID is, my time means everything to me. We have to be more efficient because work and life now all blend together. And if you don't engage me, I'm going to zone out. And I have to say, I think a lot of people find this cold or off-putting. I've spoken with people that feel really shafted by the way COVID kind of shifted our day-to-day lives, our relationships, etc., how we consume information. I personally feel that I took away a lot of really good, powerful messages from COVID, and that I do feel like I value communication now more than ever, but I also want sharper, more concise communication, and I have healthier boundaries now. I didn't even know what boundaries were before COVID, and I had to learn how to set boundaries for myself and my energy during COVID because I was home. I was being approached all the time from work, from friends, from colleagues, from neighbors. I had to set boundaries, and that's another video I'd love to make, would be on boundaries, how to set them for yourself energetically, and as far as your time, your energy, your money, everything. We need to have healthy boundaries. But that is one silver lining from COVID for sure, is that I do feel that communication has become more effective. I like this point. If you don't know exactly what you're trying to convey, the reader has zero chance of understanding it. I'm gonna be honest, guys. The rest of the book is kind of the same points over and over again. I'm gonna stop here because I'm getting sleepy. To keep it brief, I'm getting sleepy. I haven't had dinner yet. I need a little pick-me-up. I need a little food. in my tum-tum. So I'm going to leave it here for the most part. I'm going to say, if you're interested, definitely pick up the book. It did definitely help me a lot, and it's continuing to help me because I continue to think about how to make my messages clear, what I actually want to say, how I want to convey it. Who is my audience? If I'm talking to a friend, how do I convey this to her in the most short but still loving way? Anyway, with all that being said, I think this book would be great for someone, especially if you're working in a team, if you have a lot of work that you're going through meetings a lot of emails. This can really help, especially if you're a leader and you're a boss or something. That can really help. But it's helped I feel that this has helped my conversational ability, my ability to talk with my best friend, people that I've known my whole life, people that I've just met, strangers, anybody. It is very helpful. That being said, I mean, you can see I just skipped through a lot of the book. I didn't skip it, any of it. I read the whole thing, but I skipped through a lot in terms of sharing with you guys because I do think the message is a little bit redundant. And essentially, what we're trying to say here is you're probably talking too much in life. You're probably writing too much in life. And you're probably shortchanging your own abilities and your own messages by talking too much and writing too much. And if you could rein it back, get a hold of your emotions, get a hold of what you actually want to say, and convey it with brevity, you're probably going to seem way cooler. At the end of the day, like, you're going to seem cooler, you're going to seem more self-possessed, more confident, more able. So I think when I start to notice when people are talking a lot, they're writing a lot, I'm starting to notice, oh, I think that's their insecurity. They want to feel smart. They want to feel like they're a nice person. They want to feel heard. They want to feel seen. Those are all wonderful things to feel. But when your entire life is trying to manage how other people view you, you're going to be exhausted, you're going to be drained, and you're going to resent people for not seeing you the way you want them to see you. So just some food for thought. This really helped me, and I wanted to share it because I looked on YouTube and there weren't really a lot of videos on how to speak with brevity. I mean, there were, but it seemed more corporate, and I wanted to make it kind of fun and warm and human and add my own little insights into it and be kind of goofy with it and have fun because honestly, I'm still figuring out this channel. All I know is that I want to keep doing things that are helping me in my life, and this has helped me a lot. And like I said, with that Toastmasters thing, I had just finished that book. It probably took me 2 weeks to finish the whole thing because I wanted to do all the underlining and all the highlighting and really make sure I got everything. I don't think I would have won the Toastmasters thing on my first ever Toastmasters if I hadn't had just finished this book. And I do think that that helped me a lot. I've tried to really cut out filler words from my vocabulary diet, and I've just gotten better at crafting messages, speaking in person. I think I'm better at talking on YouTube. Hopefully I am. If you guys have known me from the beginning, you remember my early videos and now you're seeing me now. There's also the joy of being able to edit now. I'm not a great editor, but I do edit now, so I can cut out the things I don't want. But for the most part, this is just me talking. I also talked really fast in this video because I wanted to get all the information in, and I didn't want to talk too slow. So hopefully I wasn't talking too fast. You can always slow it down, I think, in the settings if you need to slow it down a little bit. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed it. It was fun to record. I need to go eat. I'm really hungry. Say goodbye to Nova. She looks so cute. She's all curled up in here. Oh my god, I love her so much. My little baby. She's a little baby princess. Oh, I made a YouTube channel for Nova. I know. I'm one of those people, officially, that made a YouTube channel for my pet. But I had so many videos from when she was a kitten on my phone. Like, so many. I take so many videos of her because I'm obsessed with her. She's my favorite animal in the whole world. Anyway, you guys are awesome. Thank you for watching, and I hope that you learned something from this, and let me know what else you want to learn because I would love to talk about more things that I'm learning on my journey because I honestly, for the first time, I'm 36, I feel like I'm living my life for the first time for myself, and I'm not so worried with what other people think about me, and it's honestly freeing me up a lot. And it took some confidence to start recording this video, but I felt more confident than usual. For the first 3/4 of my 9/10 of my YouTube channel time on here, I felt so insecure and so scared and so anxious, and I'm just like, I'm just talking to a camera. I'm just talking to a camera. And I know those of you who are loyal, who show up, who are there, who are cool, who comment, and who have been there from the beginning and like enjoyed this stuff. And you guys, thank you for being you. See, this is why we need smart brevity, because we get rambling like this. Anyway, I'm gonna let you go. I hope you guys are all doing well. And if you're not, I hope you're finding ways to make meaningful steps forward in the life, in the direction of the life that you actually want, because you're the only one that can do it. No one else can move your life in the direction you want. You have to do it for yourself. And other people along your way might be able to help you. But at the end of the day, if you want to change your life, you have to change your life. No one can change your life for you. They can help, but you have to do it. If what you want and what you have are not lining up, you got to change it. You got to figure it out. I'm figuring out how to do it using YouTube and podcasts and books like this so I can do it. And I'm a weirdo. If I can do it, I know you can do it. I know you can do it. I believe in you, but you have to believe in you. That's more important. Don't pour your heart out to me in the comments. Don't do it because you're going to overwhelm me and you're going to overwhelm other people. Do it for yourself. Think about, what do you really want to say? Rein it back. Say it short. Add a little flour in there. Add a little warmth in there. Add a little sunshine in there. Bake it up so it's nice and warm and fluffy. Don't overcook it. Don't dry it out. You lay it out there in the comment section. Let us all enjoy your beautiful baked comment. I can't wait. I can't wait to see it. I can't wait to see. That's my challenge for you guys. Smart brevity comments. I want to see some smart brevity comments, guys. Let's get this going. I'm excited. Let's do this. I believe in you. You can leave a smart brevity comment. And if you leave a really long comment, I'm going to judge you. I'm going to judge you. I'm going to judge you. But you know what? If you can make me laugh, extra points. Extra points. Anyway, okay, we're going. I'm hungry. I'm really hungry. I'm serious. Okay, bye, guys.